and zero criticism for his playoff performance. See, Lions fans, Amon-Ra St. Brown, all these folks in Detroit are trying to revise history. Y'all did not lose as a prohibitive favorite because Aiden Hutchinson was out. You lost because Jared Goff is a turkey burger. That's why. Turkey burger, super dry, no ketchup, no mayonnaise, forget the salt, pepper, and it's like a dried up biscuit from KFC. Jared Goff folded in the biggest moment. That's what happened. In the divisional round against the Commanders, Jared Goff had 3 picks, including a pick six, a 57% completion percentage, a 40 QBR, and 59 passer rating. Best believe if Jared Goff played better, the Lions would have won that game. That's a fact. And so here's my issue with the whole thing, right? Here's my whole issue with it. It really bothers me that Jared Goff got less criticism for crapping the bed than Jalen Hurts, who won in the divisional round. Think about that, bro. So a guy in Jared Goff has 3 picks and a pick six and is the number one reason why his team lost against the Commanders versus Jalen Hurts helps the Eagles beat the Rams. And the discourse was, is Jalen Hurts going to lead the Eagles to a Super Bowl? Can they rely on his arm talent? Why wasn't that same energy? Because we know this. If Jalen Hurts had 3 picks, a pick six, and lost to the Rams, that's the story. That's the story. And if Jared Goff had a great game, they're not talking about Jared Goff. They're talking about Jalen Hurts. So I just don't really respect these opinions of people that put certain quarterbacks on this pedestal, but then when they don't perform, they don't get criticism. Come on, bruh. Let's really break this down, bruh. If Jalen Hurts had remotely as bad of a game as Jared Goff or Justin Herbert, he would be dragged every single day for all of 2025. For real. And it would be that monkey that he would have to just get off his back until he proves himself in a Super Bowl, whatever. Like, he would have to really, really be amazing to try and like disprove that narrative. But I'm just really, really confused as to why Jared Goff and Justin Herbert aren't getting the same type of criticism that we know for damn sure Jalen Hurts would have got. And we know this because when Jalen Hurts has won games, he's gotten more criticism than guys who have literally lost games for their team. I'm capping? I don't think so. Can we keep it a bean, bruh? Can we keep it a bean? So look, I'm going to do my top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL right now. Top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL right now. I want to do that right now. Top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL. Honorable mention, Baker Mayfield. At number 10, Justin Herbert. Y'all know, regular season merchant, he got proven in the playoffs. Number 9, Brock Purdy. I'm not going to knock a guy for having a great team around him. Number 8, CJ Stroud. I think he is a really good quarterback, and he shows up in the playoffs, bro. The proof is in the pudding. Number 7, Jaden Daniels. He is amazing, a future superstar, and he'll have to replicate what he did last season for me to put him in like that top 5 talk. Number 6, Matthew Stafford. He's one of the 3 most clutch quarterbacks in the NFL. He is the truth. And that final drive against the Eagles, I was bugging in the playoffs in the divisional round when he had that throw to Puka Nacua and Puka had that shoulder catch. I was, it's over. And then Jalen Carter saved the day. Number 5, Joe Burrow. I think Joe Burrow is a really good quarterback. I'll say elite quarterback. My only knock with Joe Burrow is he doesn't guarantee you the playoffs. These next quarterbacks that I'm about to say, they guarantee you the playoffs no matter what their situation is. Number 4, Josh Allen. Now, if he beat Mahomes and went to a Super Bowl, I would make him higher. But it's like you can't. Yeah, I like Josh Allen. I think he is an elite quarterback, and he's one of the best dual threat quarterbacks of all time. My only knock on him is I don't think he makes enough winning plays consistently to beat the GOAT or beat the GOAT of this generation in Patrick Mahomes. Number 3 is Lamar Jackson. The first team All Pros, the MVPs. Yes, in the playoffs, he hasn't gotten it done, but we know, top 3 quarterback in the game is Lamar Jackson. Let's just stop the cap, bro. Let's stop the cap. And maybe this year he gets over the hump. Number 2 is Jalen Hurts. We know it. Number 2 is Jalen Hurts. I could draw and say number 1, like Brandon Graham did. But I'm not going to go that far. I got more respect for Patrick Mahomes and what he's done in this league and all that stuff. So I'll have him at number 2. But Jalen Hurts, if he replicates, I'll say it again. If Jalen Hurts can replicate his success this season, if he's back to back, oh, he for damn sure going to be the best quarterback in the league. But right now, he is comfortably 2. And my biggest reason why Jalen Hurts is a top 2 quarterback in this league is because I trust him with a game for my life more than any quarterback in the league. He is a top 3 most clutch quarterback. He's number 1. Then it's Mahomes. Then it's Stafford. Jalen Hurts is the goods, and it's not a coincidence that in the biggest games of Jalen Hurts' career, he has outplayed Patrick Mahomes. And number 1 is Patrick Mahomes. Yes, he had a terrible game in the Super Bowl. Yes, he did get a little bit exposed with his pre-snap reads for sure. His offensive line was bad, but I can't rate him lower than 1 given his resume and the fact that the worst season for him is losing in the AFC Championship in overtime. I love y'all. That's what it is. I was about to like end the episode right there, but we got some more stuff to go right now. Nick Sirianni. I got to bring this back up. Let's just, when you think of Nick Sirianni, I want you to close your eyes and think about this. In his first 4 seasons, playoffs, a Super Bowl appearance, the playoffs, and 4th-year Super Bowl champion. That's first 4 years. And in his first year, he inherited a 4-win team that was projected to win 3 games that year. Nick Sirianni is an elite coach. And there's only 2 coaches I can definitively say are better than him, and 1 guy that I'll say is better off of just respect for his resume. Andy Reid, Sean McVay are better. And I'll say Mike Tomlin, because of how he's been able to make stuff work without an elite quarterback or without, frankly, a good quarterback and still have winning seasons, I'll give him that respect as well. But let's just talk about this here. Let's stop this notion that Nick Sirianni isn't an elite coach because he has great talent around him. You can't have it both ways. And I haven't been the biggest Sirianni fan from the start, but we'll keep it fair. If the Eagles are 2-2 and you're saying Nick Sirianni is a terrible coach, then if they go out here and win the Super Bowl, you got to give him credit. It's like the Lakers. there was a lot of talk about JJ Redick not being able to get the Lakers 50 wins. He gets them 50 wins. You can't then say, well, it's Luka, it's LeBron. He got 50 wins. Winning is a coach's stat. That's the most pure coach stat ever. That's literally all that they're judged by. All that they're judged by. And all Nick Sirianni does is win. You may not like his methods, but if you're an Eagles fan, you sure enough like his results. And that's a certified fact. And unless you're in the locker room, you don't know how the players feel about him. It might look like they be going at it. We saw in the Super Bowl, A.J. Brown and Sirianni went back and forth. But that's something that you do with your friends. My best friends are the ones that I can go right at them and they can go right at me, and it's all love. It's the folks that I feel like, hey, like I gotta tread lightly, like I don't want to ruffle no feathers, that we cool, but that's not really my dog for real, compared to the ones that I can really call out and say, hey, bro, you a turkey. Hey, bro, you this, and that, because we can just talk to each other in that way. So actually, the way that Sirianni talks with his players from the outside point of view, it looks like they're really close because actually they're in a situation, they are in an environment that they're comfortable in saying stuff to their coach. Remember, after the bye week, it was the offensive line that went to Nick Sirianni and said, dog, run the damn ball. And what happened? He went ahead and ran the damn ball. Saquon Barkley had himself a career year. This man was on a freaking mission. That's a certified fact. All right, boom. Not only does Nick Sirianni take accountability, but he's maximizing his roster. Let's talk about two guys. Nick Sirianni is for damn sure a better coach than Kyle Shanahan. Stop the cap. Stop the cap. I don't want to ever hear Kyle Shanahan being a better coach than Nick Sirianni because Kyle Shanahan has had great talented teams. That's a fact. That's a fact. He was favored in the Super Bowl. That's a fact. He's at all pros everywhere on offense and defense. That's a fact. But he hasn't won the big game. Nick Sirianni won the big game. He's a better coach. Now, is Kyle Shanahan a better play caller? For sure. It's night and day. But there is a difference between being a better play caller and being a better head coach. That's what it is. There are going to be some guys like a Mike McDaniel who he's a really good play caller, but is he a good coach? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think he's decent at best. He can't beat nobody worth a damn. So I look at that and I say, look, I'm not trying to say Kyle Shanahan's a scrub, but let's not, again, revise history and act like Sirianni and Shanahan haven't both had great rosters. And Sirianni is the guy that he's been able to get it done. Another guy, Sirianni and Dan Campbell. Let's keep it a stack. Dan Campbell is not on Nick Sirianni's level. And what y'all do is because you like somebody, you make excuses for them. Like, you know, them girls that they say, hey, I got this rule. I got this rule. I got this rule. And then whoever is, more handsome enough, they go out here and all them standards go out the window. All them, if he make it 200K a year, oh, you don't like the way that he talk, the way that he dress, whatever, it kind of go out the window sometimes, right? And a lot of y'all that be covering football, be covering the game, y'all like a coach and make excuses for him that you wouldn't do for another coach. So if you're telling me that a Lions team that is a prohibitive favorite over the Commanders that they lose, that falls on the coach. Because if this is Nick Sirianni in that same position, he's getting crucified. That's a fact. If Nick Sirianni in the NFC Championship has a lead and folds, he's going to get killed. So I'm only using the logic that y'all grade on Nick Sirianni to say that he's not, in terms of Dan Campbell is not on Nick Sirianni's level. We have to be honest. We have to. Come on. It's like y'all give Dan Campbell more credit for what Brad Holmes has done. But then with Nick Sirianni, it's all Howie. It's nothing to do with Nick Sirianni. Like, we're not finna act like Mekhi Becton, I believe, becoming a guard. That wasn't because of Sirianni saying, hey, can we look at this? Yo, Jeff Stalin, can we look at this, bruh? Are we not going to act like the tush push has Nick Sirianni's fingerprints all over it? Something that they never did up until he got there? And it's such a dominant move, the most dominant move in the NFL, in NFL history, that it's a situation where, the NFL wants to ban it? I'm just saying, can we keep it consistent? Last two topics, bro. Why would the Eagles draft a wide receiver in the first round? I was seeing some mock drafts saying that the guy from Ohio State. I'm just like, bro, we cool, bro. We cool. I believe in Jahan Dotson. We're good. There are many other things that the Eagles should address before wide receiver. Edge rusher, safety, defensive line, talking about defensive tackle, offensive line, looking for the heir apparent to Lane Johnson. Like, it's several things that the Eagles have to prioritize before a wide receiver. Not to mention, we still got Johnny Wilson, who at 6'6" or whatever, 6'7", he should look to be a huge red zone target next season. And I would love to see him get more time, get more tick. But we know what A.J. Brown is. He's a top 3 receiver in the game. We know what Devontae Smith is. Top 10 receiver in my eyes, at worst top 15. Even tight end is before wide receiver. We see Dallas Goedert is looking like it might be his last season with the Eagles. And that's going to be, done in a little bit in terms of his tenure here. I'm looking for another tight end. So it's several things that the Eagles have to worry about instead of wide receiver. And I'm just baffled. I'm confused by the fact that this is even a topic, that I got to address this. But nothing is more egregious than this. Why the hell would the Eagles be interested in Tyreek Hill? What are we talking about? Like, what are we actually talking about? That would be one of the worst players to add to a championship team. He isn't that type of player the Eagles should look after, because he's all about himself. Tyreek Hill is only mad about his situation in Miami because he did not get 1,000 yards. Best believe, if Tyreek Hill got 1,700 yards, he wouldn't bat an eye. He wouldn't be talking. He wouldn't be saying, well, I got to do what's best for me and my family. Bruh, when you went there for the money, not for the championships. So no, there's so many reasons. It's several. Whether it's the fact that he's 30 years old, the fact that to trade Tyreek Hill, you have to give up draft capital. that you actually work so hard to get 20 picks in the next 20 picks in the next two drafts, and you got to pay that contract. So there's no way in hell that the Eagles will ever trade for Tyreek Hill. And outside of the reasons I said, from his age, his contract, and the draft capital you would have to trade to get him, the number one thing is he does not exemplify or represent, rather, a championship player mindset. He has the mindset of a guy that is worried about individual accolades and individual stats. Let's keep it a bean. Let's keep it real. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. It is Real Talk with Miles Johnson, where I know I always keep it real. I'm out, y'all.